Megan, go ahead when you're ready.
Hi, Dom. Thanks for sitting in with us.
Hey, Megan, what's happening?
Not much, not much. First of all, I'd like to ask about just some player updates.
Okay.
Where is Jonathan Klinsmann at? Do you anticipate him being in the 18 and available on Sunday, as well as Jonathan Dos Santos and that left calf sprain?
Jonathan Dos Santos not involved this weekend. Jonathan Klinsmann has a shoulder issue and has not trained for about a week. So his inclusion as of right now is, I would say, doubtful.
This is the final game of the regular season. What is it that you need to see from these guys on Sunday? Obviously, the playoffs aren't on the horizon, but I imagine that that doesn't change the expectation of the motivation and the integrity that you want to see from this team.
No, not at all, Megan. And then we had a quick little meeting this morning about that. And I just said that what they've done the last two games has been very positive. The attitude and commitment has been, ambitious, which has been fun to see. And just said that if it's anything different on Sunday, I think we should all be disappointed. And we have an opportunity to step on the field to end the season in a positive manner, which is entirely our ambition. And I've always said that, someone had told me a pretty good thing is never miss a chance to impress, no matter what time of the season, first game, last game, first minute, last minute. You always have a chance to impress somebody. And I think that's the way they should be playing this game on Sunday.
In the post game on Wednesday, you mentioned that you had a conversation with Javier about his minutes, looking at that 25 to 30 minute range. He clocked in for 21. What minute range are you kind of favoring right now for Sunday? And what are some of the factors, if any, that contribute to that?
I think we'll be looking to extend the minutes for him. And it was only 21 minutes because I think when he was standing at the halfway line before he was going, I think the ball was still in play for about 4 or 5 minutes. So it kind of took 4 or 5 minutes off of his minutes. And we tried to get him before that, and we had a corner kick. We didn't want to change our setup on the set pieces. So those things kind of worked against him, unfortunately. But he says he feels good. He says he thinks he can give more to the team. And obviously we do know it's the last game of the season. He's an important part of this team going forward. And I think we have to make sure we try and take care of him, but also keep him motivated, and he can motivate himself. And I would be very surprised if he does not play more minutes than he did on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan. We'll go with Damian Calhoun next. Damian, go ahead.
Hey, Dom.
So, Damian.
Hey, I have 2 questions here. First, can you speak to the sort of progress you've seen out of Efrain Alvarez and Julian Araujo these last 2 seasons? And also, how soon after this final game do you start assessing your future? Where do you want to, if you want to stay on, I assume you'll be interviewed for the job. Do you want to be interviewed for the job, or do you want to move on to somewhere else? How soon after this game do you start going through those plans?
Yeah, I'll answer the second question first. Right now, what happens after this last game is it's not what I'm looking for, whatever happens, happens. I'm a very, very loyal and a servant to the LA Galaxy, who have been very good to me over 3+ years. So I leave those decisions and those meetings and conversations and the people that want to make those. I'm not pushing for anything here. I just want to make sure we finish the season in a good way. To go back to the first question, I knew Efra more than Julian, obviously. Julian wasn't part of the first team setup when I kind of came on the scene here with Ziggy, and Efra was kind of in and out of it. 2 different players, but I think both have very bright futures. We all know about the ability that Efra's talent, his technical ability, his first touch on the ball, his awareness, and his vision and passing are all very positives for him. I think you saw his inclusion in Javier's goal the other night. It just was a very well played pass. Maybe you look at it, it's kind of simple, but I thought he showed a little bit of maturity with the patience and the weight of the pass. Just he does some things that really kind of make you appreciate him as a player, make you appreciate the game of soccer. He's got a very good touch and very good mind for the game as well. As far as Julian goes, I mean, I've been so impressed with this kid since I've seen him. A very good one-on-one defender, but also has an incredible engine to get up and down the line. He's got wonderful pace. He's got a great attitude. He tries to get better all the time, and he's tough. He's a real tough kid. He's always looking for a challenge out in the field, whether it be in the 5th minute or the 80th minute. And I think when you ask him to do stuff, he always responds to it positively. So, like I said, 2 different players, 2 different positions. But I think for those guys, they both have the same path and it's very bright futures in MLS and beyond.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks, Damien. We'll go with Larry Morgan next. Larry, go ahead.
There you go. Hi, Don. Thanks for taking the time to talk.
Larry.
I have a 2-part question. One is, you look back on this season, what disappointed you the most about this team? And if anything, what surprised you the most about this team as you look back on the season?
Wow. Well, obviously the record's the most disappointing thing. That's easy. That's an easy answer right there. I didn't think this was a team that would be out of the playoffs coming the last game of the season. I thought coming decision day, this team, when I looked at what we were doing in preseason, would be, jockeying for a playoff spot and seeing if we were going to host our game or not. So I think anytime there's it's almost like we're talking about this too much. Anytime there's a coaching change, it's because the records, for the most part, it's going to happen is because the record's in the wrong spot. At times we were sitting in the bottom of the Western Conference, and that for me was very surprising. So disappointing and surprising. I think maybe they kind of almost fall into the same answer, Larry. It's like disappointed with how the season went and surprising because I didn't think it was going to happen.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Thanks, Larry. We'll go with Alicia Rodriguez next. Alicia, go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, Don. Thanks for taking the time today.
Alicia.
Wanted to ask, you said that you want to impress on the final day of the season. Do you have plans to give some minutes to some of the younger players who didn't get a ton of playing time this season, but maybe you think deserve a little bit of a run out in the final game of the season here?
When I sat with Dennis and Chris on the day that the coaching change was made, they just said they want me to go out and win games. And I did ask. I said, "Are we looking to maybe do some minutes for guys who are young, who have futures here?" And they said they want you to try and win the games. So I think you've seen the lineups the last 2 games have been positive results. I have given minutes to some young players. You just talked about Julian and Ephra. We'll see. Right now, I'm not going to give you my lineup because then you just throw it to Vancouver's way. It'd be easy for them to scout us. But I've been very happy with the way that we've played the last 2 games with the guys that have played. Right now I don't see too much change going with just kind of giving out minutes. I want, not saying that the players can do the job, but I think the guys that have been playing have earned more minutes. And we'll see what happens. I think I'll be a little bit more liberal possibly with the 5 substitution rule, which I was going to try and do at the end of the game on the Wednesday there. So, and use that may lend to some younger guys getting some minutes.
Thanks, Alicia. We'll go with Katia Castorena next, and then John Rojas. Katia, go ahead.
Thanks, Vicky. Hi, Dom. I wanted to double check. Sorry, I lost connection at some point. I wanted to double check what players are not going to be available for the game. And then my second question would be, just in general, what's the atmosphere within the group? You said about just trying to close strong, no matter the circumstances, but what's the atmosphere between the guys?
Yeah, I think for players not available, obviously Sebastian Leget's not available with his inclusion and going with the U.S. national team before we head to Portland. Jonathan DeSantos will not be included or available for that game. And then Megan had asked earlier about Jonathan Klinsmann, and I mentioned that his shoulder's been giving him some problems, and he's doubtful for the game up there as well. So I think that kind of covers it. If there's more, I apologize. The atmosphere has been good. It was even though in the end the result on Wednesday, even if we had won, would not have affected the standings or our playoff position. I still was extremely disappointed walking on the field with a tie. Obviously, Seattle was throwing everything forward, but to lose that goal and in the fashion that we did in the last minute was really, really disappointing, frustrating. The locker room was not a good place to be, and it definitely showed that the players are still caring, and as they should. I'd be disappointed if people were in there not saying anything. So, but to look at it, I mean, I thought we played well. Good win against Salt Lake, a decent draw against Seattle, hoping for the win. And so the mood from the guys has been very positive. I think they're, looking forward to the game on Sunday. And I think also it's a little bit sad knowing that this is going to be our last competitive game of 2020.
Thank you, Katia. We have time for one last one from John Rojas. John, go ahead.
Thanks, Vicky. Don, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
You did not mention Rolf Felcher. He is supposed to be on the Venezuela national team. He will travel after the game, or he won't be available for the game?
He will be available for the game. He will travel after.
All right, thanks. And then with Jonathan, you mentioned he's not going to be available because of his injury or his physical condition. Do you think that is going to prevent him to be with the national team, or is something that they will decide? He will travel and then decide?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of an interim head coach here, so I'm not exactly involved in all the conversations with the federations. I think I've just been kind of told to take care of the team here, get it going in the right direction, hopefully. So there has been talk of Jonathan maybe going with the Mexican national team, but I'm not 100% sure.
Dom, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thanks, Vicky. Thank you, everybody. Take care.